Hey, what's up, guys? Trey Smith here. Decided to do another video today, and I have Zach Grisette with me.
Hey, what's up, boxers?
So we're going to have fun, guys. We're going to play with Pixelbox. We have no plans. We know we want to make a game and show you how to create a game from scratch using Pixelbox, just the art, obviously, for a game. And we're going to do something kind of like my game Phases. And that's really all we got. So we're just going to kind of wing it from here. So the first thing we want to do, guys, is when you open up a new file in Pixelbox, if you don't choose a template, which we did not, it's just going to be 1024 by 1024. And Zach actually told me this. Thank you, Zach.
Yeah. You just click on it and you can set the dimensions yourself to whatever you want.
So I'm going to do 1136 by 640. Which is going to be the native resolution of iPhone 5. I like to work in that resolution when I'm doing videos. You would probably choose the native resolution of an iPhone 8 or something like that instead. And Zach, what do you think? Background first?
Yeah, let's go ahead and throw a background in there and make ourselves an alpha window or something.
All right, so let's do that. So we're going to start, you know what, I'm going to explain the alpha window stuff in a bit.
Okay.
I've noticed when we do it at the first, it's kind of confusing more than after we throw some stuff back there and then clean it up.
Got it, okay.
So I just clicked on images and we're in background and we got like hundreds, maybe 1,000 here. I know we have thousands of images, but hundreds of backgrounds for sure. Let's start with one of these gradients. What about this one?
That one looks good.
All right, cool. So we're going to grab this. Now you notice it's snapping straight to the background. That's perfect, so we can make sure we're right in there. And I'm going to put it right here. Now, what I want to do is layer something on top of this. And we have a lot of stuff we could layer. I'll give you an example. So we could grab, a lot of these times when you see black ones like this, I use this in the example in the video on the special event. And if you layer this type of stuff, and I think you do a screen on this, you can get a pretty cool effect.
Yeah.
And especially if you start playing with the brightness and the hue and the contrast, you can do some cool stuff. And I think multiply is the one. Yeah, this is what Nick was telling me about. Yeah. And then if you have brightness and contrast, you can actually make it go away.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That is really cool.
And he told me on our game Jump Pack, for the guys that have been around for a while, this is how he made everything look rusty.
Oh, that's awesome.
Was using this type of thing. I had no clue about that.
I can see that.
Man, he has like so many great little tricks like that. Okay, but for this game, we're going more minimal. We don't want something realistic. One cool thing, I love the bokeh look like this. And this is another one I would think multiply if we want to make it darker.
Yeah,
Let's see what happens when we do this and we start increasing contrast. Hey, that's so cool. You can like get rid of parts of it.
It almost looks like the DreamWorks logo or something, like some sort of film, like an indie film thing.
And then we could do light and make it super bright or overlay. Again, let me pull down the contrast because that's going to kind of throw that off, or screen. But anyway, so let's do this then, man. Let's go with one of these. This one here, you think?
Yeah, let's try that one.
All right, let's try this one. Now, the reason that these are black and white, it's actually for a reason, is so you can overlay this. And that looks pretty cool.
That looks
right?
awesome.
So that looks cool. And then, now this is another interesting thing. So we have these two layers, right? We have this one that's overlaid on top. Got to give a shout out to Kevin Wolstenholme. He's one of the first people I saw do this with polygons like this.
Yeah, right.
For Impossible Caves.
That's right. I've seen it.
Fantastic game. Strongly recommend playing that one. I'm assuming this is how he did it. I don't know. He hasn't specifically told me. But now, so we over here, we can click our different background layers. We only got two right now. In all the layers, called the outliner. Now, I've selected this one here. We can see that this is the one, that was the gradient background, kind of cool. Now, what I'm going to do is change the hue on this. And we can shift this around. You can see it moving, in real time. That looks cool. It reminds me of some software I played with in the 90s that would like cycle through all the colors, It looked all trippy. I think Paint Shop Pro actually did that, if anyone remembers that one. Okay, so I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of having the kind of purple in there with it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's cool. I like the glow from the bottom too.
All right, cool. Let's do that. Okay, so let's see, man. Now maybe it's a good time to do an alpha window, because here's the thing. A lot of times you're not going to be clipped perfectly on here. I'll give you an example. I mean, we're going to have this. If it's going to be off a little bit, we might have a little bit hanging over the edge.
Sure.
Right? And this is a great time to use an alpha window. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and we're going to center these. Get these about right. There we go. We'll center this one too. And it's going to probably be a little bit too big. That's okay, because we're going to clean it up with the alpha window. And what I'm going to do is make a new one here. And let's go ahead and move that to the front so you guys can see it. And it's going to snap into place where it's supposed to.
Right.
Yeah. And we're going to go over here. We're going to snap that right here. There we go, which should be right about there. And then I'm going to click this button here.
Cool.
And it's going to turn into an alpha window.
Yeah.
Now, this alpha window is just like it sounds. It's like a window to another dimension. And what we could do is actually I'm dragging this bottom one here and dropping it into it. So I've got a window, right? And then we can move it around inside that window. So it's a pretty cool way of organizing stuff, and we'll use that later on.
Yeah, and that's like one of the coolest features that Pixelbox has for sure. I've used other illustrators before, and I have not seen the alpha window feature before, so you can get a lot of creative uses out of it.
Yeah, just to show you guys again, in case it's confusing. So, this right here, the reason it has this little icon up here is because it's an alpha window. This is literally like I said, like a window to another dimension. We made all that stuff back there, and then we can actually make it bigger, smaller, and crop it.
And it all stays within the frame of that window.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you something cool while we're here. This is something that Nick showed me. This is a great example of an alpha window. All right, so let's turn this circle into a gradient. Let's put it right over here. I might not even use this, but just for fun. All right, let's turn this into a gradient, and let's go ahead and choose like a basic white, and we're going to edit this. This side we're going to make strong white. This side here we're going to make strong white, but the opacity all the way down. And then I'm going to change it to radial. All right, so now you can see we have like a strong glow in the middle, not as much out here. And as I pull this down, we'll completely just make a glowing ball.
Right, exactly. Just kind of a fade. You don't see the line at all.
Exactly. So now this is interesting. We can take something, this is going to probably look terrible. We're going to do it just for fun. So we can take this background here, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and make that a good bit smaller. If I hold down Shift when I scale, it does, by the way, guys, keep the exact size. All right, so we're going to put that about right here, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this circle, and I'm going to turn it to an alpha window. And then I'm going to take this and put it inside of that alpha window. Yeah, and you can see now we have this cool swirl effect going on right here, and we can actually move that around. So now with the swirl effect, if we wanted to, we could of course change the hue, and we could actually make some pretty cool looking effects.
Yeah, that actually is not a bad looking whirlpool.
Yeah, exactly. Like some kind of special warp zone or something.
Yeah, or a portal. Something like that would be good for Buildbox too. Is using it for a portal.
Definitely, and you can export that as a PNG with alpha as well. So, but anyway, so don't really need it for this specific game, but it's kind of a cool feature.
Yeah.
All right, so you know what, guys? Let's do this. Let's make this kind of a minimal game. We're gonna do it like phases. I like that we have this bright background. When you do that, you can use really cool, solid color foregrounds. Now, here's the thing: if you have a bright background, you want to use a dark foreground. If you have a dark background, you want to use a light foreground.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got bright, so we're going to go with something darker here. And let's see, man. How about right there? That look good?
Yeah, it looks
Let's
good.
make it a little smaller, though. We're going to have a little bit of a dangerous game. Let's put spikes on the bottom.
Sure.
So then we're doing the classic platformer style. You got to watch out.
Okay.
You're going to die if you hit the spikes.
Yeah.
All right, now,
gap, yeah.
to change the color on this, really simple. We're just going to click on the right-hand side here. And I like to use just some of these colors, really. I think like the tungsten or lead. Let's go with lead. It's a little bit darker, I think. Okay. So, yeah, let's see. We'll see what the tungsten's like, too, on it. I think that's too light.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with lead there.
Okay.
All right, so then I'm going to just make sure, there we go. That's a perfect fit there. Now, I'm going to show you guys another cool thing. And I did this with... phases, actually, and it came out so great. So what I'm going to do is I clicked right here, and I'm making these polygons, okay? And we can choose how many sides this has. We can make it have 10 sides if we want, and I think 6 sides is what it had. Is that right?
Right.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to also make this one lead. I like that. And what I'm going to do is just copy and paste this and make a couple of these. All right, cool. So yeah, we have a second one here, and I'm just going to rotate it slightly right here. Now, since we have multiple select, I can actually select 2 of these and then copy and paste both of them. And then we can move that a little bit faster.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, there we go. I'm going to pull it up just right here. You know what? I'm going to grab another one of these, and let's pull this one out and just kind of put it in the middle. And let's see, we'll grab a couple more, and we're just going to size these around a little bit. Let's see, I'm going to change some of the scale here. There we go. And just make these look a little bit different. Okay, let's pull one out here. Just get a few more. And then we'll change some of their scale and rotation to make it look unique.
Cool.
All right, cool. I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, then, so we got this one. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and make another one of these on this side here. All right, so now we have a pretty, long space to jump right there. Mm-hmm. And then the final thing we need is some spikes and a character.
Yeah.
So for spikes,
You could probably find some shapes.
yeah,
too.
I like using shape. Now we could just make triangles using the star. If you do a star, then you can choose how many points. We can say 3 points. You can choose a star radius. We can make it look really crazy and do some different stuff. But I'm going to go, like you said, with some shapes. And let's see here. We have a lot of different ones to choose from. Let's check out the iconic set. And let's see, I'm looking for something spiky. How about that one?
Yeah, that'll work. That's
That
perfect.
work?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's take this, make it a little bit smaller. And what are these, quotation marks?
Yeah.
But that'll work perfect. All right, cool. So now I'm going to go ahead and make these the same. What do we choose? Lead there. That's perfect. And then let's go ahead and copy and paste these. And there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and highlight. Oops, not all of them. Let's go ahead and get these lined up here. And highlight a couple of them. And you hold down Command to do that. And let's go ahead and hold down Command and get all of these. Just continue it. And one more time.
Perfect.
Okay, there we go.
Cool. Okay, those are some good looking spikes. And then at some point we got to throw them into the alpha window.
Yeah, and you know what I think might be kind of cool? I'm going to go ahead and delete some of these over here. Yeah. What might be cool is actually make these a little bit different.
Oh, angle them a little bit different. Yeah. They kind of almost look like pipes or like sawed off pipes or something like that. At angles.
Yeah, this will make it a little bit more sinister.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's make this one skinnier like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. And you know what? Since we've already done the hard work of angling these around over here a little bit, I'm just going to pull those down, delete these.
And just make another copy.
Yeah, we'll just copy and paste it.
That's good.
There we go. Okay. And we just pull those right there.
Perfect.
All right, I think we have one extra set over there we can delete. All right, so that's looking pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like the angled spike.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So now we need a character. So you know what? I really like, if this has not been apparent through all the games I've released, really big fan of just doing balls. And you know what? We can go with a gradient here. If we do go with a gradient, though, I think in here, I'm going to pull this over and zoom in so we can kind of see it while I'm doing it. I think it would be a good idea. I like this gradient. I think it'll show up good with the background.
Sure.
But I think we need to do radial.
Yeah.
And that's going to put the dark part in the middle. Let's put the bright part in the middle. And we can move this around and make and show how bright and dark the outside is.
That's cool.
You like that?
Yeah, I like the little glow in the center.
Yeah, let's go with that. I think that looks good. And then, you know, we did this alpha window thing, and that's actually a pretty cool way of adding a glow to the background. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit smaller. Everyone makes their characters too big.
Yeah. That's
Most common issue I see. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this gray blob. We'll put it behind the character there. Make it a little bit smaller. About right there. I think that's good. And let's also do this a gradient. And we'll choose not that one.
Nope. We'll go ahead and go with a lighter gradient and make a nice glow.
Yeah, let's go with, you know what, let's just go with straight white.
Yeah.
And we'll go white on this side. We'll go white on this, actually, let's do this. Let's go full white on this side. And I'm going to do it for the third time and get it right. There we go. And then on this side, we'll do
Just alpha, just nothing.
Yeah, no opacity there. And then let's have a nice glow effect.
Cool.
Concentrated.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah. Right there? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do that. All right, well, let's see how it looks. Let's zoom out. And yeah, that looks pretty cool. Now, I'm going to show you a cool trick. This is, You know what? I think we need, I'm a perfectionist, so this is, I think we need a little bit more glow. And then what I'm going to do is we'll accept that. And I'm going to put this right here.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Then do a little bit wider on the glow. Let's see. Like that. Let's try that.
Okay.
All right. So I want something more subtle, right?
Yeah,
I want to show up, but I don't want something like super abrupt. And I think that looks super cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So the final thing here, man. This is a really cool thing that I've done a few times. So we have this geometry pattern. Mm-hmm. Now, first off, you probably can't see, but a lot of these are hanging over the edge, and we can actually move all of these into the alpha pattern. That's not a bad idea. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put all of these behind this geometry pattern. All right, now I'm going to move this group up top here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull this out of the alpha window for now. Mm-hmm. I want to see what it looks like on top of all this.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a really cool effect.
That looks cool. So now we have this cool kind of geometric effect on the background, and that would be easy to export that background.
And it's easier to distinguish between platforms and enemies at this point.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what I might do? I might turn this down just a little bit.
Okay.
To match the darker ones.
Okay.
Not too much, but just a little bit.
Desaturated a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Let's get that one even. Because it did make a stark difference up there. Mm-hmm. And that's a pretty cool looking game.
Yeah, no, this is a really great prototype, and it's always a good idea to prototype your games on an Illustrator or something before. Yeah. So you can get a real good idea visually, and it's probably faster and easier to work on it right here.
Yeah, definitely. And then also we could of course grab all this and put it in an alpha window, because now all we have is the background. We could put all of it in there and crop it if we wanted to. Okay, so you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and delete all of this. Actually, let me save it real quick. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete all of this except for the background. All right, cool. And this could be our main menu background.
Sure. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that would be really easy. And if you wanted to, right in here, you could go ahead and start designing your buttons. You know, we had this kind of cool, dark, it was, kind of medium right there. And we could do a corner radius of, I think, like 15 on each of these. Yeah, 15 radius. All right, cool. Yeah, so that doesn't look too bad. And, of course, if we wanted to, we could go ahead and finish this out, grab some text here. And, you know what, let's make this say play game. Or, just play. I think's better. And we'll want to center that text. I'm going to move it up here, put it right on top of the button. And we'll make this text white. There we go, a little bit smaller. Let's make it like 60. About, you know what, let's try 40. Also, we do have where you can center vertically, so not just horizontally. There we go. And then really like this, you can actually see all the different fonts. And I'll tell you one that I'm really having a good time with lately is, do you pronounce it Babus? Babus. But anyway, that's a really good one. And then you can do the same with your logo and build it in here too, especially if you're basing that on a font. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose this Babus Kai or Babus New, just a one that's similar to it. And since this font is up a little bit, we're going to pull it down. There we go. And we'll make it bigger since it's a smaller font. And we'll put that at 60. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull in another text here. And what should this get? Let's call it Poly. All right, we'll call it Polygon, because that's never been done before. All right, so then let's see. Well, we have Babus. Let's go ahead and pull that one in. Again, we'll center this one. Let's make it 125. All right, and let's see if white will work on this. Yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. We'll do it 135. Nope, not 535. There we go. And you know what I like to do on this? We're going to copy and paste it. And then the one on the bottom, we're going to make the same color as the platforms, which was this almost black, right? And then we're going to shift it down a little bit. And then turn the opacity to like 40, just a little bit. There we go. Just get a little bit of depth there. And yeah, so that's actually looking pretty cool. One final thing that's kind of bothering me is I think we might have the saturation a little. You know what we can do with this background? I feel like it's I don't know, that looks pretty cool really, but maybe I'm just getting picky at this point. But I'm gonna try something. I'm going to put in one more background. All right, let's go ahead and take this. We're gonna make it black, and we're gonna put it in the alpha window here, and we're gonna put it in the back. Okay, oops, put it back in there in the alpha window. There we go. All right, so now the reason I'm doing this is we have this background, that's the gradients, and I can actually lower that and then make it a little bit darker. So let's see what it would look like. Just curious, it's 70. All right, that's kind of cool. Let's go to 80. And then for the geometric pattern on top, we can do the same. Start playing around with that a little bit and get a little bit more clear, less busy background for the main menu here. So I think we can stick with a 75. So yeah, we've darkened that a little bit, just made it a little bit more subtle. And then of course, what would be really cool for a game like this is if you change the hue on different worlds or even different levels, right? If you imported this, and that looks kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool, really. So you could have different backgrounds, just changing out the hue on that for different ones. And I have to say, that looks pretty cool. Only thing bothering me now is I think that we need to make this into a group. There we go. And make sure that plays centered. And then on this group layer, move it up a little bit right there. And I have to say, I think that's looking pretty good. All right, so the final thing I would do, we need some icons here, and we should have some great sound icons. Let's go ahead and check the original set. This is gonna have a ton. This is what we actually had in Icon Box in Master Collection 1. And let's see if we can find some sound, or we can just search for sound. There we go, that's easier. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's do the Sound X. I kinda like that one. And we're gonna make that a little bit smaller. Put that right here. And we will make that the same color. There we go. Hit OK. Yeah, that's nice. That looks good right there. And then we could do like a little info one as well. So easiest way to do that would just be take a circle, and we will not fill this circle, but we're going to stroke it. And we will do still about the same. Make it a width of like 3. Make it a little bit smaller here so it matches the same size. Here we go. And then, you know what, I'm gonna actually make this 5. I think that's gonna be a little bit better. There we go. And then let's add just a little I in there. So we'll make this big so you guys can see it. And we're just gonna put a little lowercase I. And we will also make that dark. There we go. And we're gonna put that right there, but we need to make it about 60. Or how about, let's do 50. Yeah, that looks good. Of course, we could change that font, but I think that that actually doesn't look too bad. Let's go ahead and center this one up. And I think we have a pretty solid looking main menu there. Make this a little bit bigger. Gotta make it perfect. All right, and you know what I like to do also? You can pull a line tool out to, to really figure out if you're perfect there. So we're gonna make this a little bit bigger this way. Grab this line tool on the bottom. Yeah, I think that's close enough. So I think that's looking pretty good. What do you think, Zach? You like the green?
Yeah, I think that looks awesome, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And, you know, I mean, we can use this and have different backgrounds for different levels of the game. So, yeah, I think this is a pretty clean look. And, guys, that's Pixelbox. Super, super easy to use, as you can see. What was this video, like 20, 25 minutes? So,
yeah, not very long at all.
Yeah, so it's fun to do. So thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you checking this out with us. And, Zach, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
All right. See you guys later. Bye.
See ya.